Hi guys, it's SugarPlumSims and welcome back to another video. Today we are doing a speed build, which is not unusual for me, but it has been a while, and I will quickly warn you, I have tried to do this voiceover twice before. One time I got a minute way through and realised the intro was absolutely terrible, and the second time, one, I was talking about things that I want to word differently because I was kind of putting it in a way that, I don't know, I want to save it for another time, but basically I was also getting quite out of breath because I have not recorded one of these voiceovers in ages, so I mean, if you know me, which I don't know if any of you will, but I don't talk a lot in real life, so it's not a surprise that I'd get out of breath from talking for 10 minutes straight, which is what I did. Although this video is close to 34 minutes, so I will probably get out of breath, but that's to be expected, so maybe I should just slightly talk, hang on, is that even correct grammar? Probably not. I need to breathe because I'm already not breathing, and that is a terrible thing. Actually, I find it quite difficult to do voiceovers really because I always feel like I have to fill up that empty space with words, and if there's any like 5 seconds without words, then people are gonna get bored. And then I basically sacrifice my breathing to entertain you guys, so I hope you appreciate it. But anyway, so I actually really like this house. It's probably one of my favourites I've done, because the one before this I actually really like as well, but I don't know, there's just something about this style. I think the last build was actually quite similar in this style as well, but it's a little bit Hamptons, a little bit beachy, kind of coastal, and it's not necessarily modern, but then it's not full-blown traditional either, so I really do like it. And another thing actually is that I wasn't even planning on recording this build to start with. I got as far as doing the exterior in terms of the colours and the windows and all that. I don't think I did any landscaping, and then I basically, I don't know, I realised I wanted to record it because I built this house ages ago actually. I finished it yesterday I think, or the day before, but I started it ages ago and it's taken me a while. I've done it in quite a few goes, and then last week I was going to record the voiceover, but one, I didn't really have much time to do it, and two, I wasn't really feeling in the right mood to do it. I feel like when you're doing a voiceover, you have to be a bit happy, I guess, at the very least, and I don't think I was very happy, and also when I was happy I was kind of busy, so I couldn't, but yeah, I'm fine now, kind of-ish, sort of, but I'm good enough to do this voiceover, so we'll give it a try, and like I said, I've already tried to do this, but I keep getting out of breath, so I need to breathe. This is a problem for me, and I don't know, does anyone else get this when they do voiceovers? Because this is what my problem is every single time. Not even because I've had like a 2-week break of doing videos, but just because I am terrible at breathing and talking at the same time. In fact, I don't think you can really breathe and talk at the same time, you have to take a break, but I clearly cannot take a break. But yeah, so enough of that rant. What else did I want to talk about? We recently had the trailer for what was it called? My First Pet, which, I mean, I'm not that excited about. It does look quite cute, and there's a few items in there that, if they came in a different pack, I'd probably buy it, but I don't think I will get it. Honestly, I feel like, for me, My First Pet is the equivalent to the Toddlers pack for me. Obviously, there's a bit of how can I say this? Controversy. That is how you say the word. Sorry about that, but there is a bit of okay, I am going to fail at saying this word again. Controversy. Yes, you got it, Sophie. But yeah, so there's quite a bit of, why do I keep repeating that and making myself say it again? No more of that. Okay, you know what word I'm going to refer to. That's great. But basically, I understand why people are a bit upset about it, because it is basically, as James Turner put it, or The Sims Supply, a DLC for a DLC, and even if you don't own cats or dogs, you can technically buy it and you can play with the objects, but a good chunk of the pack I feel like will be the new cats, like the pets items, as in like the cats and dogs clothes, and I feel like if you don't have cats and dogs, it's going to be pretty useless. I mean, true, you get an extra pet, but it's just a pet with a few different meshes in it. And honestly, I just, you know, I don't really play with pets a huge amount. Honestly, mainly because I don't do much gameplay, but at the same time, I just feel as though, you know, it's just a bit of a useless pack for me, so I probably won't end up buying it. Maybe if I was ever given it or I won it in a giveaway, I would appreciate a bit more, but I don't really want to waste my money on it, so I probably won't buy it. It's like the items themselves are quite cute, and you know, I don't have a problem with it because I do already own cats and dogs, but I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but it is kind of like toddlers for me because I don't play with toddlers that much, so I never found a use in buying the toddlers pack, and I don't play a huge amount with like the cats and dogs, so again, I don't feel a huge use in me buying a pack which centers a lot around cats and dogs items. So yeah, I don't know, that's just my little thought on it. I thought maybe if you were interested in my opinion on it, which I don't know if anyone is, but that is my opinion. I mean, the items look cute, and I'm not gonna lie, that coffee table and some of the sofas look really nice, but it reminds me of the toddler pack quite a bit, and while I have nothing against that, it's just not my style, so you know, that's just my opinion. But anyway, moving on, I can't remember what else I wanted to talk about actually. Considering it's been 2 weeks, I feel like I should have more to say about just life in general, but as per usual, I do not do a huge amount. But yeah, don't mind me, I just had to take a quick break there because I forget to breathe, as I mentioned before. But I did actually go to New Look yesterday, which is rare for me. I rarely go out of the house, to be honest. I go out, I don't know, once a week, twice a week if I'm lucky. I just don't have much reason for me to go out, apart from if I had to go to the shops or something, but usually I just rely on my mum to buy the basics, and then I will eat whatever is in the fridge. That is how I roll, pretty much. But yeah, I did go to New Look because there is a sale on at the moment, and I mean, there's pretty much a sale on in New Look all the time, but today was a season, like end of season sale, so I thought I'd go in and check it out because I had gone on the website and there was a few things I wanted to get anyway, because I rarely buy clothes for myself, and I feel like rather than spending my money on the Sims 4 stuff packs, which whilst they are quite fun sometimes, it's not exactly that great to spend your money on games when you should be spending it on clothing, because I don't have a huge amount of clothes that can actually be worn. I have a lot in my cupboard, like my wardrobe, but I actually don't have a huge amount of just basics and things that go with everything, which can be a bit difficult to dress myself in. So I bought, actually I didn't even buy that much, I bought a skirt and shoes. Why am I even talking about this when I bought so little? I mean, it's a big deal for me because I rarely buy anything, but just a skirt and a shoes. And a shoes, yes, that makes sense. I bought some nice Chelsea boots because I have a pair of black Chelsea boots, but they're a bit tall, and whilst I don't mind tall shoes, you know, they do hurt your feet after a while, but I do quite like them and they're quite flattering. I am already kind of tall, so I feel a little bit self-conscious just walking out of the house towering above everyone. I mean, to be honest, I'm not that tall. I'm not like model height. I think am I 5'8"? Actually, that might be model height, but I don't want to be that tall when I'm out of the house. In fact, those shoes, the Chelsea boots I already owned, made me like 6 foot or something, and I don't need that. So I did want another pair of shoes that were like Chelsea boot style and still had a heel, just weren't as tall, because I'm pretty sure the heel I had before was like 9 centimeters, I think. I'm not sure what that is in inches, but too tall for me anyway, so I bought another pair, and they're only kind of slightly shorter, to be honest. Now that I look at them, I think they're probably a quarter shorter than the heel of the other shoes, but it makes a difference really, and I don't feel humongous wearing them, in height rather. But yeah, so I did buy some, and they were only £14, which is pretty good for shoes, and they're from New Look, which I think like my mum has always said that new look shoes can be a bit uncomfortable, but these ones are quite comfortable, so yeah, I'm pretty happy with those. And I also brought a skirt, which honestly reminds me, is it Cher from Clueless? I don't know, the main girl character. You know her iconic like skirt duo type thing that she wears in the first part of the film? It's like the yellow checkered one. Well, I basically bought one that's kind of similar to that. I think there's a bit more black on it, and it's also not as, how should I put this nicely, tacky? I don't know, I find that skirt slightly tacky, but this one's quite nice, and it's also long enough because why do they make skirts so short nowadays? Honestly, I feel like if you're shorter, then it's probably no problem for you, but I mean, I'm not that tall, but they just make skirts so short nowadays. And also dresses, like the amount of dresses I found that are really cute, but they're just really short. So yeah, I kind of wish it was more in style to wear longer dresses. I know you can get midi dresses, I just haven't seen many, so yeah, that's just a bit of a rant about something completely useless and doesn't really compete against world problems. But yeah, so this is the kitchen, which I actually love. And behind the fridge, I do this little thing with the vines, or I don't know what they're called, I think vines. But I think it does bring a lovely, what am I trying to say? It does bring a nice feel to the kitchen. And I also do this thing with the sink, which that sink actually fits perfectly over that little, I don't know what it's called, like the hamper thing. It's not a hamper, but you know what I mean, from Laundry Date. I just really like how it looks, so I was pretty happy with that. And I also stick some little, I don't know what they're called, like cabinet type things into the counters. I'm not sure if the counters work anymore, but I thought those worked really well actually, and I'm pretty proud of myself for like coming up with that, because it just kind of makes them look slightly different, and I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Sorry, I cannot speak today. I just had to take a little break because I'm trying to help my little sister brainstorm for baking ideas, because she has to bake something for, I think it's like chemistry or something, I don't know. But she was going to make macarons, but we don't have almond flour, so I've given her a pavlova recipe instead. Not my recipe, but pavlova is quite nice actually, and it's easy to make, I think, so yeah, hopefully she doesn't disturb me anymore, which I don't mind. But honestly, I'm being completely honest, and she might be watching this video later, so who knows, but I really didn't want to go out to the shops and like buy something, so yeah, I was hoping to find a recipe that didn't require me going to the shops with her, because I am a lazy human being who does not like social interaction. But yeah, so this is the little living area, and actually the living area is kind of weird because it looks nothing like it, but it does remind me a bit of the kind of living area from Full House. I don't know if you've watched the show, or Fuller House, because it's basically the same set, but yeah, just the kind of style of it and the bit of the layout, because it's quite open plan. Obviously it doesn't actually look like it, but I thought it did kind of remind me of it as I was watching it back. But yeah, also you'll notice quite a few cuts in this, but like I said, did I say it? I can't remember. I've got like 10 minutes into a voiceover, so forgive me if I cannot remember everything I've said, but it took me quite a while to build, so yeah, there's quite a few cuts. And I actually really love the sunken area for the living room. I thought that really worked quite well, and it also gave an extra use for this corner sofa, which I don't know, I wish we had like one of these type of sofa styles that you could fit into like a corner of a build, but just not like a corner one, just a normal standard one. I think that would work. That would look quite nice, but I'm sure they'll give us one eventually. But this is a little dining area, quite basic really. I think, like, I managed to clutter this build quite well, but I always find this with pretty much every build I get to build, is that eventually I kind of just get a bit bored at furnishing, and then I become lazy and I just can't be bothered anymore. You'll see in the nursery, because there is like a little mini nursery type thing. I say mini because it is very small, it's in that tower section and there wasn't any space for anything else. But I just got so lazy with furnishing that I pretty much got it over and done with very quickly. And yeah, I feel like I need to change my, what's it called, like my method of building. I need to finish all the boring parts of the build first, and then, you know, I won't be so lazy with them later on once I get bored of furnishing and stuff, because that tends to happen quite a bit. But yeah, just adding a few other things. I wasn't really sure what else to add in this living room, because what else do you need in a living room apart from the basics? You know, I don't know either. And actually, I forgot to mention, the mirror above the fireplace is actually Pineapple's idea. I don't know, I can't remember if she says she got it from someone or not, but I'm pretty sure she came up with the idea to use the mirror we got from Get to Work. Not the mirror, sorry, the window. There's like a mirror on one side and a window on the other. From Get to Work, to use it as an actual just like mirror, which only really works if you don't have anything behind it. Or sorry, you do have like a boxed room behind it so that it doesn't like look out into the outside. But luckily for me, I had already done that for the fireplace, so it was a perfect space to use it for. But yeah, just adding a little TV in and finding a few objects to use. I notice a few builders do this, where they'll get out everything they want to use in the build, and then, you know, eventually in the build they'll find places for it. So I just noticed a few items that I wanted to use as some places, and so I used them. Pretty basic and self-explanatory. But I really like the living room. It's kind of a bit boho chic, if that's the right terminology to use, but I do quite like it. And I also do this with the little newspaper stand type thing, where I lift it up and make it look like it's attached to the wall, which I thought was kind of nice. And then just putting a few clutter items. Sometimes I get a bit lazy with clutter items. That's when you notice all the minimal house builds coming out to my channel, but not with this one. I tried to clutter as much as possible, although upstairs you'll notice it's slightly lacking in the clutter department because I got lazy, like I said. But this area is kind of a little, what's the word, just activity room. It's got like an easel, the laundry stuff, which you can get rid of if you don't like laundry. I think I added a hamper somewhere, but if you don't want to do laundry, that's completely fine. You can just, you know, delete it and replace it with something else. And I've actually noticed that it's not that big of a deal to have laundry in your game. Honestly, it doesn't disturb me when I've done a bit of gameplay, because I haven't noticed it, you know. With bins in The Sims, if they get too full they start to overload, but I haven't seen this in The Sims. I have played like a couple weeks in Sims time, and this just hasn't really happened to me, so I don't know whether maybe I just haven't played long enough, or it's just not very, what's the word, like obtrusive? That's not even a word. I don't know, like it just doesn't really mess up your gameplay that much, so just thought I'd let you know that. Adding a, what is it, a football table, I think. Is this like football or foosball? I feel like some people say foosball. I think that might be an American thing, but I say a football table, so I guess I'm going to stick with that. Just a little office area. Yeah, I'm trying to think of if there was anything else I wanted to say apart from just talking about the build. I do need to finish some revision stuff, which I should be doing right now, but I have been kind of putting off doing this voiceover, so I figured I had to do it right now. And you know, I had time right now, so I figured it would just be a good opportunity. I don't know if I ever finished like talking about the clothes I got. Like I spoke quite a bit about the clothes, I think, like the shoes and the skirt. I say clothes, but I've only got one item of clothing that I got. And I actually also found like a new love for this leather jacket I have. Basically, it's quite an old leather jacket, and I'm pretty sure the only reason I've actually fallen back in love with it, like I never loved it, so I don't think I could have fallen back in love with it, but I think the reason why I'm considering wearing it now is because it's probably a little bit too small for me now, and the shoulders were always quite large, and it was actually originally my older sister's, so, you know, I didn't actually buy it, but I never wore it because the shoulder pads, like, there's not really shoulder pads, but the shoulders were quite wide, and I just didn't really like that look. So now that I think it's a little bit small for me, they're not as obvious, so I'm gonna try and wear that, because I was looking a new look yesterday for like a leather jacket, but they were all probably sold already, the ones in the sale anyway. So yeah, I hopefully will be able to wear that now without looking like I have shoulder pads on, which would not be great. And I had to take another quick break there because I realised that every time I run out of breath I start to sound really croaky, and I don't think that's very nice to listen to, so I did have to take a quick break just to catch my breath, and hopefully I sound a little better now. But in that like literally 10-second break, it wasn't even that probably, but I did remember that I wanted to mention something about the subscriber video because I was meant to be doing one and I'm still going to do one, but it's kind of been a while. I think literally the last video I posted was mentioning that I had hit 500 subscribers, and that video was almost 3 weeks ago, I think, maybe 2.5, I don't know. But yeah, I have been meaning to like post a video asking for questions because I did a poll on Twitter and everyone, well, not everyone, but most of the people who voted wanted a Q&A, so I did get a couple questions on Twitter, not that many though, so I do need to do a video on YouTube asking for questions, and I don't know, I feel like I don't think it's that late to still do like a 500 sub special. I was trying to mix special and subscriber there, don't mind me. But like I feel like it's not too late to do a 500 subscriber special video. It might be slightly late, but you know, it's not too late if you know what I mean. So I'm gonna still do that. Remind me though. Actually, you don't bother reminding me because you will probably not. Where was I going with that? I don't know, but you don't need to remind me, I will remind myself, because I have decided to make a board every time before I go to bed where it's like a whiteboard, and it will be like things to do tomorrow, and then I'll write everything I want to do and then I'll put it into like a time schedule just so that I know what I'm doing, and also so that I can get in a bit more revision because I'm terrible with revision. I honestly don't know why it hasn't hit me yet that my exams are only in like 8 weeks or something, but I honestly do not know why. I think honestly it's probably because I'm not like one of these people who is obsessed about like the future and stuff, and I'm not always thinking ahead. I'm kind of just living in the now, which is not great when you have exams coming up which could define your future. Which I still could probably get into college, but it just means that I might not be able to get into good universities if I don't have great GCSE results. So yeah, hopefully I can sort myself out, which I don't know. I have a couple things to do today in terms of revision, and then it should be okay to, I don't know where I'm going with this, yeah, it should be fine. But yeah, I need to write a 500 subscriber special type video thing on that board then. Which is the whole point of this conversation, which isn't technically a conversation because you are not responding to me. I feel like some people might think that YouTubers are crazy because even though I am technically, well, not really technically, but I'm still talking to you guys watching, but I am also technically talking to myself in the now. Right now, I'm talking to myself, which, I don't know, is that a sign of lunacy? I guess if it was, then every single YouTuber who does like videos basically would be considered a lunatic, which I don't think we are, at least not within the YouTube community. Maybe outside of YouTube we are, but I don't know why. I don't know like who would think we are crazy. I don't know. I think sometimes my family might think I'm crazy if they can hear me talking to myself, and if they don't think I'm recording, then that might be why. I don't know. I don't actually know where I keep going with these conversations. It is honestly confusing me how I get to these topics, and then I can just kind of completely switch it up. But yeah, so I'm going to be doing a Q&A anyway. Basically that's the point of what I was trying to say. So I will do like a separate video, but if you think you might forget or you just have a question right now, then if you want to leave it down below, then I will like make a copy of the question when I do like the Q&A and stuff, so I can still get to your question. And also if you leave it now, it might have a higher chance of me reading it, because if I get more questions than I can answer in the video, which is unlikely, I will have to like say, But yeah, you can just leave them down below now, and I will also be doing a separate video anyway. That is if you got this far into the video, because it's 25 minutes in, and you know, I feel like half the people have already left, so hi if you're still watching, I appreciate you very much. Actually though, I feel like, I don't know, like some people say thank you for whenever they reach, I don't know, another 10 subscribers. Actually that might be a bit small, especially if you gain like 1,000 subscribers a day, but we're already up to 530 subscribers, which is amazing, and I just want to say thank you, because I have not been able to work on this channel very much as I wanted to anyway, and it's just very nice to see 30 new people from my last video, which is really cool. So thank you for everyone who's just joined really recently. I tend to get like, I don't know, 1, maybe sometimes 2 subscribers a day when I'm not actually uploading, which is still nice to see a growth even if I can't like physically grow my channel with new videos. So yeah, if that makes any sense at all. And also sorry for this voiceover. I know it's kind of terrible because I keep slurring my words, and I get tongue-tied and stuff, and also I haven't recorded a voiceover in ages, so I think sometimes like you have to just get into it, and because I've literally been speaking for, I don't know, nearly half an hour now, actually probably over half an hour, because I had like 10 minutes extra plus probably 15 minutes from just sort of cutting out things from the last voiceover. But yeah, so I've been talking for quite a while now. No wonder I keep getting tongue-tied, because I rarely talk this much. Actually, I feel like in these voiceovers I talk more in them than I do in real life. Is that sad? Although to be fair, I feel like most people talk more in voiceovers than they do in real life, unless you have like a what is it called, like when you help customer service job, then you might be talking quite a lot, but I honestly do not talk that much in real life. But yeah, can you tell I'm running out of things to say? Because I am, trust me, I am. And I know there's going to be a bunch of things I have to cut out in this, otherwise I'm going to sound like a complete idiot. I'm already just like thinking about cutting things out that I'm saying in the moment, because I know that I'm going to sound stupid. But yeah, so just doing the garden now. The garden came along quite nicely. I couldn't think about everything I wanted to do, and also now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like I just cut off that extra section of the garden with that landscaping. Ooh, okay. Well, hopefully your Sims can still use that, because I just realised that I just cut off that section of the garden and I didn't even realise. Okay, well, I'm sorry about that, but hopefully your Sims can still use that. If not, you can just delete a few plants. I did actually go in, and I think because I need to get into the habit now of every time I've finished building, I need to go in and kind of just look at everything up close just to make sure everything's okay, because I used to do this where I'd finish a build, I'd upload it to the gallery, then I'd take the screenshots, and then I'd realise all the problems it has, and by that time I couldn't really be bothered to like re-upload it, so it just stayed with all the problems in it, which is something I should not be doing. So yeah, but this is a little section of the garden which is apparently cut off from the rest of the gardens, so that is kind of sad, but I kind of like it. I tried to use these fairy lights because, actually, are they called fairy lights? I don't think they are. But in one of Pineapple's streams, her first stream actually, which if you're not following her on Twitch, you should definitely, and also subscribe to her on YouTube, because she has a really fun personality, and I really enjoy her videos. You're welcome if you're watching for the promo there. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, she tried to use these in a build, I think, but they're kind of difficult to use, I must say, and you know, they're a bit too tall for like home use, domestic use as some might say. But I tried to anyway, and I think they do look kind of cute. I didn't do that great of a job though putting them there, because I honestly couldn't be bothered at this point to make everything perfect, hence why you have to check everything after you finish building. But this is just a pool area. Honestly, I'm thinking about ending this voiceover off here because I'm getting out of breath again, because I clearly do not go to the gym anymore. And yeah, I just ran out of things to say really. But yeah, hopefully my next video won't be this, like, this far. What am I trying to say? Like, it won't be as long from the last video. That did not make sense, but hopefully you still understood it. I feel like if you've been watching this channel for a while, you'll kind of like get what I'm trying to say. But yeah, so that is pretty much the end of this. Hopefully you did enjoy. We have around 2 minutes of screenshots, which was originally around 4 minutes, but I managed to cut it down because I just couldn't choose between screenshots, and there's probably one too many in there, but you know, I don't really care that much. But yeah, so last time I forgot my voiceover, but I mean not my voiceover, my outro, but I'm not going to do it this time, and also I kept calling my outro my intro, which also wasn't that great, so sorry if you were getting irritated about that. But anyway, I'm going to leave it off here. I do hope you all enjoyed. If you did enjoy, give this a thumbs up, and also subscribe if you're new, and I will see you all in my next video. I'm also secretly jumping up and down because I managed to get that right. Yay. Okay. Anyway, bye!
My head up.